Yes? So he's already got her once, and she's not happy that he's taking so long to recharge his battery. But you are handsome. So she's short cycled again. This is Mochi and Latte. And she short cycled again, so putting him back in with her. She did this a couple times last year too, before she finally took. But now we're down to the end of the wire here. We're gonna end up with June babies, and it might be too hot. So I don't know. She's assertive. Pee on your face. Good? There you're at it again, scratching your butt. Ah, did that get to be too much for you ladies? You guys are funny. Well, what is up, guys? Welcome back. Twink, are you in heat? This is Twinkie's mom. That's Twinkie. Twinkie's mom. Question of the day. Vlogmas number 2. This is what we're doing. We're doing it. Do we spoil our goats? And do we confuse wild animals with domesticated animals? Yes. 1,000 times yes. It's not wrong to spoil our goats, so don't get me wrong there. I don't have any reason to just not make sure they have a good dry barn with good hay. You definitely can't have a boy. I love it. So as I came over here to discuss this topic, I mean, our goats have everything they need. We don't, and again, I'm not saying anything that is right or wrong when taking care of your goats. There are some things that are wrong, but I mean the little things, like we don't brush our goats every day. We do regular maintenance, trimming the hooves, all that kind of stuff that they 100% need. We don't clip our goats. A lot of people will actually take clippers and cut the hair on their goats in the summer just to get the thick winter wool off. They are kind of woolly underneath. Let me see if I can find Gingy. Can I use you as an example? You're my best example. Underneath their guard hairs. Stop! You guys are so hard to film. Is this? I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get it, guys. She just wants me to pet her face. Hi. Yes, I see your face. But under their regular hair is this woolly little cottony. Goodness, somebody give me a good view. Not you, I know you're sketchy right now. Well, anyway, they have this almost cotton down underneath their guard hairs, their outside hairs there. And that'll keep them, so that winter wool will actually normally shed on its own, but the hair will stay longer-ish. Now, it's kind of hard to tell because as you guys watch every single day, you guys see what I see, which is they just look normal. They have that slow, thick winter wool that comes in, and Sprinkles is probably the best example ever. She is poofy, and I don't know if you can see it, but her face gets real poofy. Her beard will come in real thick and long, and she would just look like a fuzzball by the end of the season. I don't know if any other of the goats really do that too much. Puddin' does for sure. But, you know, we provide a nice dry barn. They have this fabulous hay. Now, let me tell you something about this hay. This is what got me the other day. I bring hay down from the bale that's up in the field, and I put it in this ring so they have hay in the barn to eat. There's zero difference between this hay and the field hay. Zero. It actually comes from the same bale. What are you boys doing? You roughing it up today? I love to see this. I'll carry on in a second, guys. For those of you that are new, President Snow was born. His mom died a couple days after he was born. He got stuck and he had to be pulled out, and we think possibly she suffered a tear in the uterus and bled out on the inside. And so we ended up keeping him. There was a long series of events. One of our really good friends said, you guys give me him and I'll breed him to whatever girl you want until we get a girl for you that you want to carry on his mom's bloodline. And so we were going to do that. And then we found out that he was born with a cryptorchid testicle, which means one of his testicles stayed up inside his abdomen and didn't fall down into the scrotum. As you can see, he's still banded back there. It's looking good. But see his scar on the side there. We had to have that testicle surgically removed from inside of his abdomen. He wouldn't be a breeding buck. He would simply be a pet. But there is a small potential that he could breed one of the girls. So we decided to go ahead and have that testicle removed, making him essentially a wether. A wether is a buck goat that is castrated. So we'll keep him because we'll keep him in with the girls. He's a wether. He can't impregnate them. We wanted to keep his mom's bloodline alive. And his mom's name was Ambrosia, aka Brosie, aka Sweet Brosie. She was probably one of the sweetest goats we've ever had. So with her passing and everything that happened, we decided to keep him, wether him, and we'll keep him in the barn with the girls. What that'll do is he'll still have that manliness about him, and he'll indicate on the girls whether or not they're in heat. He'll also help push the girls into heat as they get that little buck smell, and it's right here, and it's just nice to have. Sweet Marlin, the little guy here, such a beautiful little, we actually had 0 buyers for him, and so we decided to wether him. So we weathered him. He was over with the boys, and the boys were beating him up pretty bad. They weren't not letting him eat intentionally. They were just bigger, stronger, so they were pushing him off of the food, stealing his food. And then they were chasing the little guy around. So he spent most of his days hiding under the barn. And we're like, well, he's weathered, and President Snow needs a friend, so we'll bring him in here. He's very thin. We do have someone who could want him. And he would go to an awesome place. We'd go to Lisa if she decides to get him. Nope, no pressure at all. Just, you know, she had mentioned maybe getting him. And so we're going to wait. We're going to fatten him up. He's feeling really good on his rib cage. I can't show you guys rib cages this time of year because they're too chunky. They got fat hair. Hi, buddy. But what Mr. Marlin is doing is working his sweet little angel baby magic. And he's trying to earn his place to stay here. Look at it. Look at his face. Look at your face. It's so adorable. It's so adorable. And now he's taken to, like I showed you guys in the video yesterday, he's taken to just following me around. Like my little lap dog. This little puppy just following me. Hi, buddy. Wanna go for a walk? Mar? He might not. He's eating now. But anyway, so that's why Marlin's in here. So I like to talk about what we perceive as these domesticated goats. And I was a little bit hesitant and a little bit nervous the first time we ever released the goats on the creek. There's a creek that runs, hey, what's going on, guys? Thanks. There's a creek that runs through the property, and it's not deep. It's maybe knee deep at the deepest point. And I was just very nervous that somebody would slip, fall in the creek, and drown. It was unfounded. And eventually we fenced that in, and we got the girls down here on the creek, and they jumped that creek like little gazelles. There's a pipe that goes across the creek there, an old gas pipe, and they toddle across that just for fun. The babies love it. It's like a balance beam. It's about a foot above the water, and they like to just toddle across there. I've seen them climb up on the low branches of the trees, and they essentially, you start realizing like, hey, these are real goats. They're jumping creeks, they're running the hills, they're walking on the ledges that are so thin that I wouldn't walk on them. They're just toddling across there like nothing's happening. And so we've been watching, and I've been putting the hay up in the field up there, and then I take some of it off and I bring it down here to the barn, and I put it in this ring. And these girls, who I've said it before, our girls hate rain, they hate water, we call the rain water daggers, because when it starts raining, they just come running from the hills. Now, if it's a good rain, but here today, we're just a little bit sprinkly. We got a little bit of snow mixed in with it. And they've been out all morning, clear up there on the hillside, eating on the bale of hay. And I'm just like, why do I put in so much effort to spoil you little princesses if you're just gonna eat ground hay? Now, I'll guarantee you, if they drop this hay on the floor in here, what they'll do is they'll take a mouthful like this. They'll eat like 3 pieces. The rest goes on the floor. They won't touch that. They won't touch that at all, which is why I was dead set on not having hay in the field. And I put hay in the field, and they spend their days up there playing on top of the hay bale, eating. I've seen them out there in some decent rain. It started raining really hard when I walked in I don't know why I said it that way, really hard when I walked in the barn, and they just came running. But yeah, Vlogmas Day 2, that is it, guys. Should we spoil our goats? If you can, do. If you should, and you could. If you can, spoil your babies. But realize that they just gonna want to go run in the wild, play in the woods, jump across the creek. I've seen some of the babies in the spring, they walk right through the creek. I had Puddin', where'd you go, baby? I don't know where she is, but Puddin', oh, this gold goat here, she would actually walk right through the water instead of jumping. So starting to maybe change our perspective a little bit on how we treat them and how much we spoil them and baby them. We'll continue to provide them everything they need, but at a point, I'm wondering if this big thing, this will be crucial like in winter. There'll be days in the winter here that I'll need to keep these doors closed, keep the girls inside, and feed them inside. But I'm just like, I might need to slow my roll a bit. Let you little chunkies live like real goats in the wild. All right, guys, last thing before I do go, update on my dad. He is doing well. Really no improvement from the last update, unfortunately. Now we're getting into some sketchy territory here where it's fantastic. The swelling in his brain has not increased. However, it is also not decreasing. That is eventually going to be a problem, because while it's not messing with his motor skills, it does continue to make him nauseous and dizzy, and also it's pressure on the brain. So I'm not really sure what next steps are. I had mentioned to you guys that they might move him off of the critical care unit and just monitor him on the floor below, but without some decrease in swelling, he's going to remain on that floor until they're sure that he has improvement. So thank you guys for all the support as always. the amount of love. Just thank you guys. But right now I'm packing orders like a madman. Etsy kind of shut me down on. So you guys know, just because of the way the shirts are now, that we have to adjust shipping and make the shirt fit within the parameters of, because you'll put a shirt in the box and it'll give you like $20 shipping, which is ridiculous. It should be, you know, like $6.95 to $8.80, which should be like right where the lines are. Maybe cheaper, and depending on how close you are, how far away you are. But so I processed like 280 orders yesterday, and it stopped allowing me to give refunds. So I don't know if there's a daily limit or it's something to do with my bank, but I'm gonna go back in after I make a trip to the post office, and I'm gonna mess around with trying to refund some people, because I have to refund your money to adjust the shipping correctly. So you're not out money. And so hopefully it'll let me do that, and then we'll get the rest of the orders processed. I think there's only like 14 or 15 left. Go figure, right? I mean, what? What's that? So we'll get that taken care of. Hopefully everything will be out today or tomorrow. Everything will be out tomorrow. So as soon as the post office can get it to you, as fast as they can bring it to your house. I always look over here. I'm looking at myself. I should be looking over there at the camera. You guys will get your stuff. And please enjoy and have a very, very, very wonderful Christmas. But we're going to keep doing this every day, so you're going to hear me every day. Hi, boys. Oof. I mean, you need to want some ladies, boys, to stand out in the rain, huh?